Welcome back, Virgo. Sun, Moon, and Rising. And thank you for joining me for your mid-month July 2020 ASMR crystal scrying. This month I will be using this MERLINITE. You can see the one side is very beautifully shaped, and then this other side you can see how parts of it are transparent and parts of it are more opaque and milky. And this is also can be known as a Dendritic Opal. So I'll be using that to guide your messages for the mid-month reading. I will not be using a crystal scrying oil this month. What do I need to tell Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising for July of 2020? Something was going on in August of 2019, so there was almost a year ago, and that would have probably been leading up to some of your birthdays, although I'm a Virgo rising, so maybe it affects me too. There was something going on in August of 2019 where you had a lot on your plate and you were kind of just trying to get through a certain period of time. And then out of the blue, something happened. And you ended up going on this trip. I know this was true for me, but I'm trying to separate. What does Virgo need to know about July 2020? All of those things are going to come back to haunt you, but in a good way. It's like you are headed on to the next part of your life, and that was something that kind of catalyzed that. Whatever that experience was that started in August of 2019 last year, it could have been like a trip or a business meeting about, like a new business venture that you entered into with another person or a group of people. But at the time, you were kind of just like, yes, this clearly seems like the right thing to do, but I have a lot on my plate, and so you have kind of like come through all of that busyness to be able to like, you kind of had to put a lot of things on the back burner at that time. And I feel like I'm getting that now all of that is going to kind of circle back around again. Nobody's mad at you. No, people understood. Even if they didn't really understand, like, people didn't judge you super harshly for it, is what I'm getting. There was a specific there's this one guy that's following you around, and he seems like a friendly guy. Why is he following Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising around? He's got something to give to you. It belongs to you. Like maybe it's probably not this exact scenario, but it's like you were walking somewhere and you dropped your wallet, or your scarf fell off, or like you left your jacket somewhere, and this guy has it and he's been holding on to it for you, and you guys are going to end up meeting up and he's going to give it back to you. Like, he kind of knows who you are, and you may or may not be aware of who this person is. But like, it's somebody who can track you down, who can find you, and they've kind of been following you around. But I think a lot of it is like you came through a really busy time, and so there was a period of time where you were like really busy, and so it didn't seem like a good time to maybe bring it up. And then of course, like everything else that happened, like people barely want to see their family, or I mean, I think people really want to see their family and friends, but like people are barely able to see their family and friends during this time. And so like this person who's pretty much like a stranger to you, who's probably like, I mean, I know I can get in touch with this person, but I kind of haven't wanted to reach out about this. It's like something that you've lost. And he wants to give it back to you. Is it necessarily a man? Yeah, and that's another part of it, is because it's a dude, like, and he's like a respectful kind of a person, so he understands that, like, because of his masculinity, he could have the potential to be creepy or be like perceived as a stalker. So he's been kind of like chilling out on that, but wants to give you back this thing. What else do I need to tell Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising for July? I'm hearing August again. For July and August. So, like, I think a lot of these crystal scrying readings, like Leo, I was hearing August a lot because Leo birthdays are in July and August. And so now I'm hearing August again. So I think it'll be like a lot of overlap. What else do I need to tell Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising about July and August of 2020? You're all over the map. Like, you're all over the landscape with this. There's either like a lot of people have heard of you by now, or because that's not very common for like Virgos to be like super out there, I guess, but it's possible. Mutable earth energy. But I'm hearing like you're all over the map. Like there's a map up on the wall and it's got all these little pins in it where you've been. You know, you've been to a lot of places, and that doesn't necessarily just mean geographically. Like it can also mean like a lot of establishment in a particular field. It could mean a lot of areas of study that you have covered in your life. It can mean like all the lives that you've touched. Like if you do any kind of like political work or outreach or something like that. Like I'm just seeing like you're all over the map. You got this like map up on the wall and it's got all these little pins in it. So it's, what does Virgo need to know about that? Now, instead of you heading out in that direction, it's going to be it is going to be headed in your direction. It's coming for you. I'm getting all this imagery of like being haunted and it's coming for you, but it's like a good thing. It's not like you're being chased down by evil monsters, except that, you know, like some could argue that fame is an evil monster, but you know, that's pretty subjective. What else does Virgo need to know for July and August 2020? There's more out here than there is in there, and they're all coming outside to see you. We're all going to be getting out into the world. And it's really important to be safe. But I am getting a lot of messages this month that people are going to be going like back out into the world. So just be careful out there, you know. What else do I need to tell Virgo? There are only going to be as many as there are stars in the sky, as there are stars in the future. There are only going to be as many stars now as there are stars in the future. So I may or may not have touched on this before, but like, if you think about how the music industry used to look, for example, like how many people were fans of Led Zeppelin in 1972, right? And then you look at that number. If you had that many fans in 2008 or 2010, it would look totally different. You wouldn't be nearly as famous as Led Zeppelin. But I'm getting like this idea that the amount of celebrities that we have now, like, it kind of remains constant over time. So that it's not like you have more or less famous people just because there's more people in the world. Like, proportionately, the number of famous people is going to remain pretty much like the same or go down over time in proportion to the rest of the population, because of how many more people you have to know to actually get to a point where you're like famous, where enough people know who you are that you can't go places, you know? Why is that important for Virgo for July and August of 2020? You're going to be seeing more and more famous people around you, and it's because you're coming up in the world. That's kind of what I see. And this could be a message for Virgo's sun, moon, or rising. And it's not a very typical Virgo message, so there's that too. Excuse me. What else do I need to tell Virgo, sun, moon, or rising? Tell them to gaze into the stone. I want you to look right here for me. Alright, gaze into the stone. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising signs. And think about what it is from August of 2019 that is finally now coming to fruition for you. Think about whatever it was. August of 2019 is when it would have started, and it's finally going to be coming to fruition for you. I want you to look into the stone and focus all your energies on that. Focus on it happening. Focus on it coming to you, how it's going to come to you. You may end up having a dream about this. Probably not the night that you watch the video, but it could be. You'll have a dream about how everything's going to come together. If it doesn't just happen before you end up getting any messages about it. But this is so that you can get your own messages. Make sure you're looking right here. Make sure you look right here. Make sure that you're looking at the stone, so you can get your own messages either from dreams, or you're going to see synchronicities around you, and that's how you're going to know that you are headed toward this thing. Time's speeding up now. All right, Virgo. Focus on the stone. All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Great job. And now we're going to take some deep breaths. So inhale and hold and exhale. Inhale, hold, and let go. Inhale, hold, and let go. Great job, Virgo. Great job. It's been great hanging out with you again. Always a pleasure. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you're having a great month and that things will continue to be awesome for you. And I also hope to see you again very, very soon.